Welcome to a podcast of Entrevista, Center for Interdisciplinary Studies. We have here with us today Francesco Navarrini, who holds a master's degree in International and European Studies from the University of Parma in Italy, and he's our final year PhD candidate in Contemporary Studies, awaiting the defense of his thesis entitled "Where Have All the Masses Gone? The Rise and Features of the Social Media Party." Francesco specializes in digital politics and online politics and human-computer relations. And let me start by asking you, who are you, what do you do, and where are you researching?
Thanks for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here. It's a privilege. So I rejoined academia after almost 20 years, my first degree, as you mentioned, my master's studies was completed in 2006, and I came back to academia now. It's about 20 years almost. So I'll be defending the thesis in a couple of weeks. So I've spent almost 15 years, a bit more, in sustainability, and then but I always had this idea of exploring the impact of algorithms and technology into politics, and this is why I decided to study this social media party, as I call it. I'm mostly based in the Sage as a researcher. I'm also a lecturer at the University of Coimbra here in the Faculty of Arts and Humanities, where I teach political science. Currently my science of research is the impact of artificial intelligence into politics and into education, especially active learning in politics. I'm following a bit. I'm interdisciplinary minded, so I'm kind of following different paths at the same time.
So in what ways would you say your research was interdisciplinary?
Because I have a hard time thinking that consequences are just linear, so one thing follows the other as a simple causation and relation. So I always try to find out if there are different consequences from only one seed, or if there are different seeds that can actually hold and lead to one consequence. So it comes a bit, and I'm also arborescent as a mind, so I start winding up very, very quickly. So interdisciplinarity actually keeps together this my way of thinking. So I interject on political science, because I'm political science, like hardcore political science by education, and then education, because I've also been teaching for some years. So it wasn't really my first choice, but I came into understanding, political science and education has something to do. And then artificial intelligence and communication, they're all around us, and I think they recall one each other. And so so I found this in this place. I found actually a place where people are like-minded. So that was pretty interesting.
In this sense, do you have any perspectives on the present and future that you would like to share with us regarding your research topic?
I think that the next couple of years are key. What I've seen, for example, in my PhD took more than some years in the making. I think we're going into a very key time in understanding what are the dynamics of parties. So I was lucky enough to see a political party in the making in Spain, just like La Fiesta, which ended up being the empirical part of my thesis. And there are also other movements around the world, namely, for example, the MAGA movement that works on the same logics apparently, but we need to study that. So I think that for the next 2 or 3 years, it will be interesting to see how online movements, and especially those that grow in Telegram particularly, or in other social media, actually what are their logics, what are the circle of attentions, what are the times, what are the timings, and what they talk about, I'm very open to I don't have really a hypothesis right now, or at least I had some, but they were not all verified. So, which is actually very interesting because it opens up other avenues. The initial conclusion is that the attention time of the audience is shorter and shorter. So we are talking about a couple of days where an issue that was sparking a lot of outrage is just irrelevant. And this would explain why these movements, these technological or techno-populist movements, would just keep on adding new issues for entertaining because they need to keep the attention high. But still, this is mainly where I will focus in the next years.
So the cycle becomes shorter and broader at the same
The
time.
cycle, yes, becomes especially shorter. I wouldn't expect so, and also leads us to rethink to a certain extent the role of the leader. In traditional populism, studies on populism consider the leader would be some sort of a hyper leader that would be moralizing, a moralizer, and then it would be seen as the one who can distinguish what's good from what's bad. Whereas right now we see that he's very much interested in understanding what could be palatable politically and what it would not be. So it's much more interested in actually giving his fan base what they want, and then whenever they don't want it anymore, he doesn't set up any agenda. He just keeps on giving what they. So he tries to give several things to them, and they pick one. They spark outrage, and for a couple of days they do nothing about anything else until the next, and then the next, and then the next.
Are you saying that the politics is becoming more predictable?
Not necessarily. We don't. I mean, there are some topics that recur. So, but there was already in the 1961. There was a book by Elias Canetti, which was Mass and Power, and he identified that the circle of rage. So there is at a certain point, masses must be consolidated by appointing a scapegoat, and then masses would just explode, kill the scapegoat, and then and then start the circle again. And then we can see now, for example, some topics like identifying migrants, LGBTIQ+, and all the other minorities, political adversaries. So pointing out someone from outside the circle is always trending. I wouldn't say more predictable, because whenever you kill a outer, there is always someone else. So kill metaphorically, of course.
So that is the dynamics of othering keeps politics going, right?
Yeah. Currently, part of it. Yeah.
Well, we have to thank you for your interview. Good luck for your thesis.
Thanks.
I'm sure it will be all right. And thank you so much for sharing your research with us.
Thank you for inviting me.